Hi YouTube, I'm going to be taking you through how to clean an Audi A3 TDI turbo with a Mr. Muscle oven cleaner. This should also work for other TDI turbos from the Volkswagen group. We're going to be doing this through the hot side, and we're going to be using Mr. Muscle oven cleaner, which is a UK brand which has sodium hydroxide in it, and it is a foaming oven cleaner. Okay, so as we look over the engine, my turbo is located towards the back of the engine. I'm just going to show you with the camera here. Just a bit dark, but need to get some access, so we can take the air piping off. Once we've removed that, we need an 8 or 10mm ratchet, and we're going to remove the EGR banking plate. I don't have an EGR valve. If you do have one, you are going to have to remove that to get access to this. It doesn't take too long to take off. It's not too bad of a job. So once you've undone that, you'll have some nice access. What I've done after this, I've also shown the Mr. Muscle bottle setup I've got. What I've done there is I've just got some aquarium piping for a fish tank and just taped it over the end of a WD-40 nozzle and just doing a test spray just to make sure it's foaming as I want it to. I don't want to stick it into the turbo and it's all do what I want it to do there. So stick it into the turbo. This is going into the hot side, the cast iron side of the turbo, and stick it until you feel you can't put it in anymore. You'll know when you can't put it in because it's just not going to come out anymore. As you can see, it's not going to go anywhere. Then start to fill it up. It's not going to come out very quickly. I've sped the video up for the purpose of this, but you'll know when it's time to stop because of it. The foam will start to come out the cast iron side of the turbo. Luckily it just overhangs a little bit for me as it comes out, as you'll see in a second. But all you need to do is just quickly clean it up. You don't want it getting onto any cables or any aluminium below because it will eat through them. So more the aluminium than the cables. I've just left the piping in once I'm done here, and I'm going to leave this for about an hour or two, and whilst I'm doing that I'm going to push down on the actuator because the actuator is part of what is blocked up on the turbo. So you can see the little actuator part there where I'm pointing to, and just push down on it. Feels a little bit gritty to start with. Over the next couple of hours as I push it down, it starts to free up a lot more and it gets a lot smoother. I would say to repeat pushing down on the actuator probably about every 10 minutes. The more the better, because all the carbon and crud that's on your turbo is on the actuator ring. So a couple of hours later, I'm just putting everything back together. You should be able to do this. It's not too hard. You're just going to put everything back together and do it back up. Again, EGR banking plate. I'm just putting it back as I found it. Used the same gasket. It was in reasonable condition, so I've not had to replace it. Again, I'm just going to speed this part of the video up because of it just sort of shows that there. One thing I would say, make sure you do wear gloves when you're using this stuff. It's sodium hydroxide, it's nasty stuff. If you've got any cuts, you're going to know about it if you get it on your hands, but it will be sore if you get it on them anyway. Just a pair of cheap gloves. I've got loads of disposable ones I use when I'm doing bits and pieces on the car. Okay, after the EGR goes back on, put the air intake piping back on. It's just a quick job. You might need to make sure you've got the right size wrench to do the spring clips back up. I started to do it in this video and then realised I didn't, so I had to cut away and do that separately. And then what you're going to find is you'll see what comes out of the exhaust. I did take the car out for a run and there's a lot more blowing. You couldn't film any of that, but really good, you can hear now that the turbo's spinning up a lot freer. Once you have put everything back together and you've run the car, make sure you do take it out and go and run it in second and third gear. Make sure you can take it as high to the red line or as close to the red line as you're comfortable with, because that's what will really blow everything out of the system and clear it up. Please leave any comments if you've done this, how you found it below. I originally found this on some Audi VW forums and also some Skoda forums. I found it's worked really, really well. My car had about 190,000 miles on it, and this has made a world of difference. It's like a completely new car, before we couldn't hear the turbo spinning up, and it was dropping into limp mode, going up the steepest of hills on motorways. Thank you, bye.